without HP doing this shit.
Franky, you look so legit, man, with the DCLcore background.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I thought we had
Yeah,
that thing with Sandeep.
that's what
I'm
I'm
like, all
trying
right,
to
let me get
figure
my
out.
fucking background together.
Yeah,
Like,
where do you
holy
do
shit.
that?
The professional.
I'm trying to figure
is that on
that
the?
out.
Is that doing the green
Oh,
wall?
I got green screen back here. I painted my walls green, so I don't know. That's probably helpful.
I'm just
Also,
struggling where the settings thing is.
So if you go to your video, it says like video. Just go on that little arrow down.
Video settings.
Video choose virtual background.
Oh shit. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know how it works for like somebody that doesn't have green screen there, but I don't know. Boss, you do have green screen?
No, I don't have a green screen.
All right,
Let's check this out.
Yeah, somehow it works for me. I don't know.
Live, word up. All right, cool.
What up?
Let me cut my audio.
Are we on just audio or video as well?
No, we're on video. Let me I'm pulling up. We're live on video. I like the idea of using like the internet now. You can just like go through and talk about like pull up anything you're talking about. I was doing that with Drew from Meta Factory, which was the sickest interview.
Let's go.
I posted it.
Nice.
Oh shit!
It's like the only DCL picture I have on my new laptop.
Oh,
I need to. All my pictures are on my other Mac.
Club with everybody and shit.
Maybe background.
Oh, dude, I need this so bad, so I don't have to show my ugly ass wall behind me, like the shadow backdrop and everything.
Do this for now. I can always bring up my internet if I need to, or one of us can show a screen if we want, or whatever.
I don't think I can do it on mobile.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
What's up? Are you gonna join the fancy background club?
No, I'm gonna keep it plain. Stock.
He said super stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, dude, I got this.
You guys, I'm gonna go there we go. I'm gonna go into the Discord with a couple messages. I haven't been able to do any like promoting of this because I've been so busy.
Hey, so what did you guys think of the Sandeep conversation?
That was dope.
Yeah. It was very interesting. I like the competition drop. So at the end of it, they said that they're going to be doing some sort of a co-competition with Decentraland.
Yeah, so it looks like I guess they're supporting Matic in a way where if any mini games are using Matic are going to participate in something. So we'll see what the details are for that.
But I think co-hosting is a big play. Like we should be doing that to not just join communities, but be leveraging off like their strengths as well. Like I really like what Decentraland did there with the co-hosting with Matic. Makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm like I can't wait for Matic to happen because like so many things are a little bit slow right now, or a lot slow right now. So you know what I mean? It would be nice to have things just work quickly and ease some of the people's tensions. You know what I mean? Like from playing Axie now, I'm just like, holy shit! Like this would be like Marcus is going crazy about transactions that haven't been able to go through for him or whatever. And it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude, this is what a lot of my friends that are all heavy into BSV have been telling me for a long time. It's the reason a lot of them haven't invested heavily in Decentraland yet, is that they don't trust the Ethereum blockchain is going to be able to handle everything.
Here's the thing, though. It's
like all these new NFT games that are popping up and stuff.
You got a real good problem when your shit is overloaded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn, I lost.
That's the way I look at it. Like, I look at it like, if your problem is you're doing too much business and shit, like you're probably, you can figure out that because it's going to be enough, economy to figure that out, really. You know what I mean?
But shouldn't Matic solve all this?
What's that?
Like I've heard that so many times. Like Ethereum shouldn't be able to scale, but isn't Matic the solution to this?
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. Matic is the solution.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I put some headphones on. You can?
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, Matic essentially it's a protocol that allows you to like load up assets.
Man, it must be
this like layer that's just much quicker And so anyone actually can set up these second layers. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't know what it is that your microphone cuts out from time to time.
Fuck. I think it might be my internet, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just the internet.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all good.
It seems like at $200 for an Ethereum, it's pretty cheap for everybody. Like all these projects being built on Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
So I would think
I agree.
Jumping in on Ethereum right now versus any other time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree. Yeah. I mean, considering how much market share it has compared to BTC right now, I think it's a good buy. It's undervalued for sure, especially due to how much you can actually use on it. Did you guys see like recently that the amount of value locked up in wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum is more than the amount of value in Lightning? Yeah, I mean, like just think of like once you get wrapped Bitcoin on like a side chain like Matic or something, then that's essentially is Lightning, like better than Lightning, and it can be ready pretty soon here. I feel like I don't know if any project is doing that in specific, but I mean anyone's open to.
I'm curious as to how wrapped Bitcoin got so popular, given that it's a sort of like a custodial service. Like DeFi is completely decentralized, right? Like Compound and all that.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's parts of the DeFi protocols that are still centralized. Like they look at like price oracles, and I mean sometimes they look at price oracles that are like from a few different sources, but it's not like completely centralized. And I know the Maker Foundation or part for Compound, even like they own, there's like the development team that owns like the rights to update the contracts, and so that's not completely decentralized either. Yeah, so there still are points of centralization, but yeah, I mean I agree. I think it's way more decentralized than the current financial system. So it's definitely,
I mean, you still got Makerdel, right? So Makerdel is a little bit centralized too. So it's I guess it's a spectrum.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, for the end user, it's like they're delivering an accountless, permissionless protocol, and that's essentially for me, like that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't advise putting everything into BTC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely some risk there still.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I did see there's a project doing like swaps between BTC and Ethereum trustlessly. I forget what it's called.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you guys. But.
Yeah, no, that'd be very useful actually. Sort of like a Kyber swap of Ethereum and BTC. That'd be very useful. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just so much value in the BTC chain right now that's just locked up and kind of siloed, if you really think about it. And if someone's able to like bridge the two to ETH, I think it would bring in a lot of liquidity to a lot of projects on ETH, which is should be good. Yeah. But so in other news, did you guys check out the Genesis Plaza that was just launched on Friday?
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it looks great. And I think it's going to be one of those places where probably the majority of people end up showing up for the main activity, right, in Genesis Plaza. Mm-hmm. And we should probably host our roundtables in that area, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If it's open to just like private groups to go up in there and host stuff, because that little like auditorium stage area is pretty cool.
Yeah,
with like the second level seating and stuff. But I wonder what their plans are with that. If they're going to actually like use it to host more events and stuff, or if it's just going to kind of be left as is for people to wander around and everything. It was a little strange that they didn't have like a real event. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, Franky, that was cool that I was just kind of hanging out there, and then all of a sudden the only thing I hear is Franky's voice, like, all right, can you guys hear me? I was like, what? Because we were in the Central Plaza there.
Check this
out. I didn't know you could do that.
Real crazy because I was about to do the interview with Drew, and like it was set for the same time as like the relaunch party, essentially, right? That was just not on purpose, but what was funny was I get a message. They're like, hey, you know, we put your audio stream on one of the buttons. And I was like, oh, because I done cut that shit off like 2 days ago, you know? Because I haven't been keeping my audio stream up because I got all these video streams happening. And then, you know, it just, I don't know, I just didn't necessarily need the audio stream so much anymore. So I wasn't playing the audio stream, and it was so funny. So I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I think I can figure this out. And I went in and I figured it so you could use both at the same time. So they had the audio over there. And then I was with Drew in here on the screen. And so I went over there to show the screen on here, you know? So there's a bunch of cool stuff with the video stuff that you can do. And, you know, that was really cool. It was cool because I just, honestly, I wish I would have known earlier because I would have never, you know, I would have been ready with that, you know, the audio. I got it done, though. You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it was sweet. I think we had like 120 people in there. But I got like it's interesting when you drop in and, like, I don't know if their intentions are to just kind of have us roam and to track like how we move through it with no direction, but like people drop into that stuff and there's like no direction as to what's going on. Like, I still feel like we need to have like some sort of like event centered like around this stuff, like inside. Like we do these play tests and everyone just kind of stands there with like no real stuff. Like the London Underground stuff was awesome with that concert, but you drop in yesterday and everyone was just kind of standing there, and I was like, all right, well, I was here earlier, like everyone follow me, we'll go walk around and check stuff out, because everyone's in the chat like, what do we do, like what's going on and everything, and I'm getting DMs about it and stuff. But it would have been cool if they played like a big video, like unveiling video at that arena or something like that. But it was awesome, man. That's the closest thing that Decentraland has looked to what those initial videos looked like in 2017, with like the flying, all the stuff flying and everything.
I mean, I think they knocked it out the park with
I think they did too.
With the information that's in there. First of all, I've onboarded like 4 or 5 people since Genesis Plaza came out. Like, people take to it differently now, you know? So now you've got the information all in front of you. Like, if you just come over here, you click on this thing with the E, and then it gives you information about what this thing is, you know? And I guess the Crypto Heroes isn't the greatest example, but the Axie is a real good example, where you walk over to it and I thought they had.
Dude, that Axie is like probably like $3,000 too.
Yeah, but it brings you right to the marketplace where you can find it and then more information about it. See, there we go. So you know, again, like, you know, this is great information. And then the museum, or the history museum, or what I should say, that's just, to me, epic, man. Like, that, so sick, because for me, I mean, maybe not for everybody, but I remember every single part of that. So I'm just like, holy shit, this is so cool.
Do you know what? I was actually going to ping Toonpunk to see if we can add to this, because I wanted to have floating Axies and floating crypto kitties and stuff running around. Like, I think I saw a place where there was like a park area. So to have that, and then people click on them and then learn about crypto kitties in that sort of an interactive way, I think that'll take it a lot more.
I thought it was like, really when cool. I seen this thing right here, I was like, they could have had my Scarface thing, you know, like they could have just gave me a call, man. I'd have donated that shit, like, you know what I mean?
That was the first thing I thought about too, Franky, was that one that you have with like the Atlas wrapped around the globe.
Literally, I would have donated that to the cause, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. I still haven't even got the chance to really check everything out that's in there. My favorite feature about it is the random land drop, where you can go up and click that. I think it's the star, and it just drops you on a random parcel like throughout the Atlas. I'm definitely going to start dropping into the Genesis Plaza just to go to like the random drop feature there.
Isn't that just a click feature for GoToMagic?
I think so.
I don't know, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that what the random stuff has been? The magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be easier just to jump in and just go to Magic. If it does the same thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they put the same click in for like the crowd and stuff.
Did I get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, because I think I saw everyone but you. Maybe we just came on at the different times.
Yeah, I came in a bit later and I kind of missed the big crowds, I think. But I was there. I had to rush to take a bunch of my lands off the market because I kind of lost hope in Genesis Plaza. And I was like going to flip a bunch of lands just to buy some better stuff. But once I saw this, I was like, I took it off because I was like, oh, this could be big.
Yeah, I reckon something like this will change the valuations of Genesis Plaza because before it was just a whole lot of nothingness. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I think like if we drive utility to this, and I think we should focus on running events to Genesis Plaza because new users come to these events, they see what we are doing, and then they may move on to check out more about, like they're in the perfect place to learn about Decentraland while being in Decentraland.
Literally, yeah.
So it just makes sense to run events in here.
Yeah.
So that park that you see, Frankie, on your left, is that a park? I wanted to put like some axes and stuff in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they should be able to.
Yeah, little axes just popping around in here and shit. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just floating axes. I can just donate the stuff that I've already built.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone know what the flow is like for getting stuff implemented in the new Genesis now, or?
I would imagine it's a contact them type situation. You know? I don't know how open they are to changing it up, and because that's another thing is, you know, this is a massive build, man. Like from the builder standpoint, diving back into here and changing shit. All right, you know, that's the way I'm looking at it, but I don't know.
Are you trying to get some stuff like added?
Dynamic though. I think they should just keep adding to this, like every fortnight or something, to add some new features, so we can keep coming back to Genesis Plaza. If they just build something and leave it, no one's going to use it.
Yeah, because I think the sentiment now seems like they put a lot of stuff personalized to different users and things users have created. So people probably feel like now they can make stuff and it can go to Genesis. So I don't know, like they should. I'm not sure how they're planning on doing that, but it'd be interesting to see what that process is like, because there'll be a lot of people demanding it probably or asking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
if Genesis Plaza can be that place that everyone contributes to, like in one way or another, it can be an awesome starting point in the next like 6 to 7 months.
That's very true. We have little pieces of everybody's like when I ran into, I mean, all you guys, most of you guys, I think have little like things here, like the Block Runner has a representation in here, and then so does the Tamanoia Casino, and like that could be like more almost of that, you know, where you had like just people contributing their style and or ideas to it, you know.
Like, I wonder how receptive they're going to be with
about,
that.
You know, throwing shows. I'm like, for real though, like I'm not even trying to wait for nobody to start throwing shows. I'm like, we got to start throwing shows like yesterday, last week, you know. So, you know, I'm trying to get on that immediately, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure people will take advantage of that, and maybe it'll get to the point where you have to like schedule your slot for like an hour and a half.
Hell yeah, you know, and that's what it should be.
That'd be cool.
It should be like always something going on in that way, like a performance and stuff like that. Like we can do that. That's not even an issue, you know. And then little by little, those get more popular, and then you can start to really put together shows that generate a whole different kind of attention, you know.
Hey Frankie, I'm at your parcel. I don't know if you're intending to live stream onto your parcel, but nothing's showing up.
Nothing's showing up, huh? That is crazy.
It was up until you switched over to the in-world screen. It was showing us just fine, and then when you switched over, I think it got froze on the Google homepage.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm stuck on Google homepage on your parcel.
Oh, I'm showing the wrong screen. No, that's why. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm showing you guys. All right, I got that. Don't worry about that. Sorry about that. I was trying to be. This is what I'm saying. Like this tech stuff is crazy. I was sharing the wrong screen. I was.
Well, like on Zoom, we were seeing everything.
You were seeing everything. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I had put it off to the screen on the right side, and I'm like forgetting that my OBS is streaming the middle screen. So now we're doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. Thank you.
I wonder if we
much appreciated.
Does Battle Racers have anything in the Genesis Plaza? I didn't stumble across any go-to or anything.
Touch with them.
I don't think they had anything in Genesis Plaza. Have you guys played Battle Racers?
Yeah, I just spent like 30-40 minutes there last night playing. I'm trying to get ready for this tournament that's coming up, but I'm still not exactly sure when the date of it is, and there's still like you can't use these specific parts that you've bought yet. It's just all like default cars as far as I know. But does anyone know when that tournament actually is? I know registration's open right now, and they have a little over like $3,000 worth in total prizes. But does anyone know when the actual start date is?
They haven't announced it yet, but I think I talked briefly to Gabby, and they were having slight issues with trying to figure out how it's all going to work. Yeah. So I think they're leaving it open-ended, just pushing the marketing for now, getting everyone registered, and then it shouldn't be too far around the corner.
Yeah, but I mean that's a big prize pool for first tournament, because I mean, my goodness, like I've ran maybe 3 of those MetaZone tournaments or so, and every time I left something out, like some crucial piece of information or some way I didn't think that someone would game the system through some loophole. So for your first tournament, that's a lot of prize money to have, and you got to make sure that you deal with it correctly, and make sure the game's functioning correctly before you even go and really upset some people if the game's not functioning right and they spend all the money on car parts and everything like that, and then there's some sort of lag issue or something along those lines. But the game worked great for me last night. I just need to get my individual car parts loaded in there.
What are the mechanics of the game?
Essentially like a mini an arcade racing game.
So you are driving the cars. It's not like some betting and you have stats on your car and then your fastest car wins.
It's like Mario Kart, but from like a outside view, I guess. Like the cars are actually racing along a track, but you're not in the car controlling it. You're standing there like controlling the power moves, watching the cars go, but you're not actually in the car driving it.
Do you steer, or is it just like gas and brake sort of thing?
No, not even gas or brakes. Yeah.
This is like almost like, is it like a card games? I think that's what Red was explaining to me.
Kind of. Do you guys remember? We're all different ages here, but when we were, when I was younger, there was those. It's almost like the Hot Wheel cars, but there was like a remote to it, and you would race them along like that nylon track, and it was like connected.
Off-road.
Kind of.
I remember those things. Yeah, it's
essentially you would like build it, and they would always fly off the track and everything like that. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but just virtually. They have it all set up. You can drop it and play it right now. The coordinates are over near the MetaZone tower.
Yeah, it's like.
But we could all
or something.
Actually,
we could all drop in right now and play against each other. Like there's it's 4 players. I've never played against anyone. It's always just been myself, and I'm to the point now where I'm just wrecking the computer. Like it's not even fun because I figured it all out. I need someone to actually play against.
1 second. I'm gonna go over to my LAN and check my audio because it sounded like Open said I was kind of like not sounding that good. So just want to make sure I'm all right.
I've been chatting with him. He says he can hear you now.
All right, cool. So we're going to Battle Racers. Come on, Anorak.
Because I think you were the only one who was quiet.
My mic. This mic is weird, man. I gotta get a better situation.
So if anyone that's in world listening, or any of you guys want to join us, they have a star on the map, and it's 67 minus 21. Franky might have just said that.
He says 67. No, I didn't know.
They got a star on the map, and it's directly south of the furthest east Genesis Plaza.
Okay.
Someone's here gaming.
All right, we're going there. We're going. So yeah, I'm still getting like my routine down with the video, but I do love the whole feature because we can just like walk around Decentraland. We can walk around the internet, like actually go to different websites and explain what people are talking about, whether it be this or that, and that's been super helpful. But yeah, getting like all the settings down yet, like I haven't necessarily done that, so Still having technical difficulties from time to time, and Open has been amazing about helping me out with that. So that's cool, you know. All right, I'm pulling up. I'm gonna be player 3.
So
how do I do this? Do I need to buy something over here?
No. So you hit that little play button on the stand. It should pop up when you walk up to it. Might still be loading.
Who's this guy? He got in my way.
Yeah, he was here gaming when we pulled up. I don't know if he came over from your land or not. We already started one, Frankie. That's why.
All right.
He started the race,
All right.
but you could still probably watch it.
All right. Cool. I'm on the sidelines.
I think I'm in. I don't know if I'm in yet.
I don't know if you can watch it. Maybe it's not like I can watch it type thing. Maybe it's only you can watch it type thing.
I don't even know if I'm in right now. But when you do walk up to it, you got to hit
there's the play
hit play on the stand. Frankie, there's a game behind us too that you could go to.
All right, I can get practice.
There's like another set behind us.
Yep, getting the practice.
So walk up to it and hit play, and then when the stuff pops up, you can pick your power-ups on the right-hand side, and then the left-hand side is where you would select your car parts. And like all the parts do different things, like they have different speed, or they have
look at these right here. Okay.
different durability, better wheels, everything.
All right, so on the
And
side, you said I can pick my car parts now?
On the left-hand side, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then on the right, you do power-ups.
All right.
It's crazy how long this has been out for. I feel like this crate sale was right around the same time as the Chain Breakers one.
It was long ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was playing this game in before, like it launched, like during beta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have it on the website there.
Well, no, in Decentraland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did it look like this, or was it a lot different?
No, it looked like this. It was maybe just a tiny bit different, but it was pretty much this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm about to.
I can see the cars playing right now on my screen.
I can't read those things.
Oh, you can? Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what we need. People to be able to come up and stand and watch.
I think I'm just old. That's good.
All right, so I just got second. Oh, here you are, right next to me.
Okay.
Scorpio, did you make it over here? Are you in world?
Yeah, I'm in world. I'm actually standing in the 4th player thing, but I don't see much going on.
You might be in a different realm.
I'm right. I can see myself on Franky's screen, but I'm in the floor.
Okay.
Oh,
I see.
Man. Come on.
You're probably still loading.
I'm not even there in my world.
Okay.
I'm really starting to realize
in a Discord chat a few, I don't know, like a week ago or something like that, that basically said that like you can code it so you can drop your person anywhere on your scene. So like when you drop in, I could like hypothetically put you on my roof, you know?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
you
gonna
put
mess with
that in the scene JSON.
Yeah, yeah. So I never even looked at that setting, but I think I might mess with that.
Oh, nice, Will. You're. All right, Baus, I got good news and bad news for you. The good news is it wasn't your Bluetooth headphones that were making you lag a little bit, but the bad news is you're still doing it.
Yeah. Now he's talking in
might just be some. Might just might just be
we don't
some
speak robot balls.
You can even like you can
Good old internet.
Hey man.
Damn, Miles just turned into an NPC character.
Yeah.
He's on mute. How is he still talking?
It's just lagging behind.
I think I'm losing this game terribly. I don't even know how this works.
The internet
What? All right. I think.
That's tough, man.
Sorry, boss. If you can hear us, we can hear a lot of that stuff. So.
I actually like the battle races style. Originally, I didn't. So I wanted a full like Mario Kart setup, but this is actually pretty cool. It's decent when you have like a 4-player PvP thing. It's pretty simple to play.
I'm not saying it's looking super laggy for me. Are you guys like getting a lot of lag in the battle races, like on another game?
I'm not, but if you're doing OBS and Zoom and everything else at once, that might be part of the reason.
All right, I like to do none of that affects my stuff, but yeah, my computer crashed for the first time the other day. I've never had my computer nothing like that. But me and HP had every sort of thing running at once, like the ridiculous amount of things. We had a preview going, Decentraland, OBS, a stream up, like just an egregious amount of things. And I was just like, all right, this is not. You can't do that much. But it was funny.
Decentraland will do that to any computer, man.
So again, I'm onboarding people, right? And I'm like, my man Gus, and I'm like, yo, Will says you need a supercomputer to run this thing, man. You know what I mean? The first thing I told him.
Does anyone have any insight on what the roadmap looks like for that leg going away anytime soon, or performance improving over time?
It'd be a client. I believe somebody's working on a client, right?
Yeah. Would that be somewhat intertwined with like the mobile stuff? Like if you were to put it on a mobile device, would there have to be something that would help with that lag, similar to helping with like an older laptop?
Yeah, I would hope you had an app on the phone. I mean, there's no way you're gonna log into the browser and then do any of this on the phone.
That is seriously the biggest issue with onboarding new people. That and the complaint of there's nothing to do in World, which is a bit ridiculous.
Augustine say that you don't need a wallet anymore? What was that? I mean,
you don't. You don't.
What?
You don't, because I logged in on one of my roommate's laptops to test that out like last week, and I got in just fine. It never asked me for any wallet information, but you got to log in as guest.
Huh. So I can use my Safari browser and jump into Decentraland.
I haven't tried it with Safari, only Chrome, but
I think you have to have Chrome.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just need to have Chrome. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, since the launch, the biggest complaint has been lag.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to try and check out one of these cooler builds like Tomanoya or the new Plaza and stuff like that, that requires a lot of power behind it to load everything.
Runner. Like I'm going to right now.
Yeah, you need it.
This thing.
Yeah,
the block runner is so loaded with metas at this point, man. It's just like it's crazy. Like I'm a neighbor, so I stop by from time to time, and I'm like, damn. Again, knowing the coding and knowing what it takes to make these builds, I'm like, holy shit, this thing's packed with stuff, because it's got like almost every meta inside of it.
Yeah, we can actually move our video meta like on side of this building and like make it gigantic.
Yeah. HP has been talking to me about doing that. He's like, come on, man, you should make a huge one outside. I'm like, I don't know, man. My model is a little different. I like the insideness of my stuff, and I like the because again, I'm getting, my Axie team is getting super strong actually, and like we're gonna be streaming, probably multiple streams eventually. I'll probably have 10 streams in there, so
yeah.
And that's the other thing I gotta figure out is if we can localize sound on that, like with the streams. Like I haven't even touched sound with the streams, but I'm hoping that you can at least turn the sound up and down or give it a range. But I don't know if that's a thing yet.
Oscar confirmed that you can size the different sound ranges.
Yeah.
Well, at least on our metas, but if you could do it on a meta, you can do it on your parcel as well.
Same code,
Yeah, that's what we need for that neighborhood project. I dropped by today or yesterday, and it was like Rick and Morty on Red's Land. It was the Game of Thrones theme song, and then it's KJ's build also has some pollution. But Franky, your land and Litecoin's land are both like the second. It's just like your stuff, right? When you step on the parcel, it plays, and when you're off of it, you can't hear anything.
Yeah. But video's not like that. Like you can hear video outside of the plot. That's localized. So like I've got my sound off, so I can't hear it. But like if I walk away, I'm gonna hear the video like I don't know, like all the way out here, like further than my parcel. You know, probably be like out here. Probably, I think it stops like around here. It's not that far. That's what I would say about the thing. But you're saying, Will, that you can limit that.
Yeah, you can. You can.
It's
It's a parameter within the code now.
All right, cool. I'll figure that out. Or
so Scorpio.
Let's say I'll figure that out. I'm gonna ask HP.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think your stuff is good. I don't know if you can hear your stuff outside your parcel, so it's everyone else.
It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But Scorpio, now that we have all the land filled up in the neighborhood project, I understand there's still a couple revolving doors with some people, which is probably going to be the case moving forward. But do you have any like plans with it at all now, or is it kind of just on the community to develop how they want to, or is there something else that you're working on that could enhance it in some way?
Oh, I can hear that. Sorry, 1 second. I went into the neighborhood by mistake, and holy shit, it's loud.
I'm going to the neighborhood right now.
The first rule of the neighborhood is pause Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
it's so loud.
I was bombarded. What did you say?
No, you're good. I was just asking if now, since the neighborhood project has kind of all been filled with people who seem like they're going to be dedicated to putting something on their land, is there now anything that you're doing for the neighborhood that could enhance it moving forward? Or is it kind of just now all on the landowners to do what they please with it, and now it's just kind of out of your hands totally?
I mean, it's really both. I've got a document that I've been writing up for the last week that's sort of covering a lot of this stuff. And it all revolves around, watching the experiment that is the neighborhood, watching it evolve, because it evolves every day. So it really does have a good slow momentum built up. And it does do its own thing. Even events, I've never done anything for events, yet we had Franky's radio show, and now we've got Talk Sam, who's going to do that Viking gym launch, which is going to be great. There's like almost 30 people attending that on the events calendar. So I'm taking a back seat to events, but I do have some plans with regards to some contests, and I'm going to be running some voting procedures by Clark Kent. I've been talking about them with KJ. That don't not only involve just like Discord emoji voting stuff, but some stuff that involves actually publishing something to your land to express a vote, which is sounds kind of plain, but has some pretty cool implications. And I'm really excited to get further into that document. But in terms of the actual, what I'm going to be releasing really soon, that's mostly concerned with it touches on the successes of the project so far, some stuff that was unexpected, maybe some failures. And yeah, there'll be some contests that I'll be running where there's some prizes, wearables and stuff like that. That'll hopefully incentivize people to make some models for the community library. I'm thinking one of the first contests will be something to do customized lifts like the one that you see in Franky's screen right now, that elevator. And the horizontal platform that sort of goes on from mine and Anorak's parcels. Do sort of contest there where we have people design their own custom things and maybe have people voting on them, and we got some wearable prizes. So there's plenty of stuff in the chamber going forward. I'm not just going to sit back and let this thing go. Yeah,
no, of course. I mean, that all sounds great. There's plenty of people there that will be more than willing to help with all that stuff. You mentioned the word failures in that, and moving forward, if there's any failures, I'm wondering what it felt like to you when you sat back and everything was filled up and you saw all the different names and stuff on there. Like, was there a sense of accomplishment there? Was it more than you expected, or did it kind of unfold how you thought it would?
I mean, when the project started, it started as something different. It was smaller. I just wanted to get a few people's attention and get a few people to buy beside each other, so I'd have a few neighbors. And it did go up in scale compared to my initial plans, and I think it kind of was you, Anorak, because you said, hey, this Matty plot looks good. It was a 22 parcel, and I had looked at it, but I thought it was too big. But then I was like, well, screw it. Let's make this bigger than what I expected. And in terms of looking at once all the parcels are pretty much distributed, which we're very close to that, there's 2 or 3 left to be actually purchased officially. sitting back and looking at those names, I feel that part was actually surprisingly successful. And there was a few hiccups along the way, but I was actually really surprised that I was kind of expecting that something might happen where deposits would come in and that would be fine. But when it came time to purchase, there would be a lot of people flaking out, and that just didn't happen. So I was really surprised by that. But there are plenty of failures too, I would say. The one big failure, I think, is that I wanted the product to maintain momentum. So I was always pushing things forward fairly quickly. And, one of the things that happened because of that was I'd commissioned KJ to build some community building blocks, things that sort of like modular buildings where if two neighbors published them, you could walk on the floor and it would be like seamless. You'd almost forget that there was two different owners. That was the idea. But that was really rushed. And so by the time the publishing trial was basically ready to go, KJ had just started those models a few days before. So I went ahead and released those, but it didn't, we could have put a bit more time into those models, and so they could have been used more effectively. And I could have made it more clear in the docs what those models were meant for, because some people thought that they had to publish them or that I was forcing people to follow certain rules, but that wasn't the case. I just wanted people to experiment with them. And so I wish I'd approached that a little differently. But other than that, there's some other stuff in the doc, but I can't think of it off the top of my head in terms of big failures of the project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see many failures with it, but obviously, like you mentioned, there's some stuff behind the scenes that maybe not everyone was aware of. But it is funny that you mentioned how 22 parcels at the time seemed so big, because I think when we were initially scouting it, the one day you and I dropped in World and we're kind of running around together, we were looking at estates that were like 6 parcels, or 7 parcels,
I have a bunch
and 22 filled up.
Yeah.
I mean, with that, like, there any plans for a second or a third neighborhood, or are you kind of done with that work and you're just happy with this one and let's push this one forward?
It's always it is on my mind. It's something that I'm definitely open to. But the other thing I'm trying to keep in mind too is that there wasn't that much special that I did to make this happen. So really, if someone wanted to do this, they could just do it. They could they could come to me and say, hey, what do you, is there any advice you have to do this? And I could give them a few pointers there, but really anyone can do something like this as long as they have a certain amount of credibility, which I didn't really have when I started this. So I don't know if that's even saying much, because I wasn't really in the scene very much before this, aside from having a bit of a monopoly on some wearables, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
You say not much special, but 14-page document tends to differ. Franky, go ahead. I've been talking.
I mean, you make yourself something, so you just like impose yourself, just like, hey, I'm doing this now, and I'm the guy that's doing this, and you made yourself the go-to guy for this, thing, and like it became something so cool because again, I don't know if I said this here before, but so you came to me with this a long time ago, right, Scorpio?
Yeah, like early on.
Yeah, and then I was like, that's a great idea. I'd love to be involved in some way. Wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get involved at the time. And then I had an investor come to me with a couple dollars, and he said, yo, Franky, I want you to buy some money, buy some land for me and blah, blah, blah. So I bought a 2 parcel where everybody's at my radio station right now. So that's what I bought with that. So I hit Scorpio. I'm like, Scorpio, I'd love to get involved with the project, but I really want this 2 parcel near the block runner because those are the homies, and same idea as the neighborhood, really,
Yeah,
So I held off, and then my man came back to me and he said, hey, I want another piece of land. I said, all right, cool. Well, I think I know the perfect piece. And then, luckily enough, I was last second. Matty was gonna put somebody in there, and and I was like, yo, I want it bad. I seen the who was in there. I'm like, I know all those people. I work with those people. I want to be in that neighborhood. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, well, you weren't even the last because Baus came later.
Yeah.
Because there were some people that had to filter out, I guess. I actually had to follow my own rules and kick a few people out that I knew were pretty busy. So, and that kind of goes back to the original question that Anorak asked, which was, would I do this? Do I have plans to do this again? And like, I don't have any immediate plans. It's on my mind. And if someone else does it, I would be probably paying really close attention to them and being really annoying and messaging them about it, making sure they're like taking the right approach and stuff. But I do have some additional plans for after I'm past building some of the foundational like cultural things in the neighborhood, and once it starts sort of being self-sustaining in that way, I'm open to plans of another neighborhood, and I'm open to plans that are completely different, but I'm keeping under wraps right now because it could be really exciting, and I want to make sure it's all planned out properly.
Great.
Hey, Scorpio, you got a question. What are your thoughts of actually merging all the parcels together to create something taller? I mean, you would require like a bigger collaboration otherwise, but like, have you thought about that?
So I guess I just want to clarify what you're asking. So are you asking like, would I do a project where I sort of retain permissions so that we can have the rules of a tall build? Yeah, that's also on my mind as well. And I think that the Decentraland dev sort of type of people, I'm not really even familiar with who to bother, but I will be bothering them sooner than later to see if I can work out something with them to maybe even get a piece of land that's like the exact same as the neighborhood, and that just has a huge height limit on it. So I don't know. I'm definitely open to talking to devs about that. But
there's a lot of implications to that because whoever has the deployment permission has to be able to understand code. Yeah. And what that means is like people would build like something, and to contribute to the estate, like any other district would, and then you would have to take that code and place it where it needs to go, and then locate it where it needs to be located. And I mean, it's not an easy thing. I mean, obviously we've seen districts struggle, right? There's a reason why they're struggling.
Yeah. One thing I'll say too on that subject is that you're saying how complicated it would be if you had to put those codes together. I'm realizing how complicated it's been just to get people to publish things that will match up, essentially. Like,
oh, for sure, it's the same thing.
You'll see a few of these white buildings, like, and those are like the only real occurrence of any like continuity. And so that's a big focus of the doc that I'll be releasing soon. I'm considering building some incentive into collaboration, maybe some small wearable prizes, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But another note on that too is that one of the purposes of this, or one of the values that I have of the neighborhood, is a certain amount of accessibility, and so having a bunch of people that need to know code would be a whole new game basically for me.
Oh yeah. What's good about Decentraland is a lot of people are learning slowly. This place will force you to learn to code. So little by little, everybody talks code now. We talk the lingo. I find myself, I'm here giving people advice. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm nobody. A couple months ago, like, I'm joking, but I'm a couple months ago, I'm like, I don't even know that much about code. Now people coming to me like, hey, there's this new, because I try to grab every new thing and implement it. So like, people come to me like, hey, that about the link, the hyperlink code. Somebody's asked me about that, and like, all right, cool. Here's what I know. And I helped that person, and they were able to to implement it in their project. And so little by little, everybody's kind of like speaking the lingo now. With Blender as well too. It's like the builds, like it just is. This stuff it doesn't teach. Like, this stuff doesn't happen like quickly. These things are kind of like slow processes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, and then like it's sort of like a human thing to collaborate on something like this. It's just like on a technical level, it's just a little bit more complicated, and then trying to keep everything cohesive, like that's the real challenge.
Oh yeah. You can't even put people, like 5 people in a room together to get one idea going, and without like some sort of argument. So
yeah.
You know what I've been realizing lately? I think walls are going to be a big issue. Like if everyone just has walls and building, I'm starting to realize that it's just going to be like a lot of things are going to be blocked off, and you have to just keep exploring and squeezing through sites to see content. I don't know how feasible that is for especially the southwest side of Decentraland.
The southwest side. Let me go on the map. I don't know.
That's a valid point. I mean, our tower, it could be surrounded by walls, and then you wouldn't be able to access it unless you teleported there. I mean, that's potentially possible.
And I know that's a thing. Like I'm next to the train system. I'm trying to find my other piece of land down there.
Which is really good now, but I think when things start to get built in between your land and the train system and everything in between, Franky,
like I could be boxed.
I don't know
easily, yeah, because like the King of the Stairs right here, I can go to here. I call this guy the King of the Stairs. If that was just a giant building, I'd be like in the shadows, you know. But you know, I think there's got to be some sort of like neighborly, like you just don't be an asshole, you know. It's like seriously, you know. And if that's the case, though, I mean, you know, and then I guess you probably not want to keep that piece of land. I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is, you know.
I'm hoping
I
the
feel like we
neighborhood
could
project.
encourage kind of open building. Sorry,
What was that, Matty?
Sorry, I was just gonna say that I'm hoping the neighborhood project can actually be a little bit of like a micro case study of that problem, and I hope we see that problem, because that means that we're getting populated. So that's something I'm not even worried about. I'm hoping to see wall problems soon.
Yeah, me and you had a debate about that in the very early days of the neighborhood stuff. I wanted to put walls around everything in the neighborhood, almost like a Disneyland park, and make everything inside of it free, but charge like 50 mana or whatever at the door to come in. And then, you know, you could come in and watch Rick and Morty. You could come in and play whatever games for free, but it would be like a admission fee. Which how it's unfolding, I'm happy we didn't take that route. I'm happy you talked me off that ledge and everything. But Matty's point with the walls is a good one. I think that's been a lot of people's concern from day one when they're buying near whale estates, and when you're buying parcels that are surrounded by a bigger estate.
Like right here, Toxam can go way higher than that. Toxam, if you wanted to, this thing could be in space. Like this is a part of a part. Like, look at how enormous. This in land like is a lot, right? This one is not that bad, but this, holy shit! Like these things, like these long roads, those could be really high because of how many actual pieces of land on it. And then the way they are long like that, like you wouldn't even think about it that way. But those things could be like really high if you wanted them to. Luckily,
the Wall of China.
Toxam isn't that bad of a neighbor, you know what I mean? And he's a great neighbor actually, and he just does his thing, brings value to the neighborhood, and that's cool, you know. You know, this guy could let me get back out of the map. But yeah, the King of the Stairs guy, like he could easily, you know, make this like something like just a huge box, and it'd be like, wow, it kind of sucks, but he didn't. And you know, this thing is pretty cool. It's like an outlook tower or whatever. We'll go on it. I haven't been on this in a minute. Well, hey, I'll take the stairs.
I'm really surprised by how few instances I'm seeing of like I don't know what you want to call it, like paywall, like build terrorism or paywall builds that people like build obstructive items just to force payment or something like that. And I actually, when I first met Will in World, we were showing each other a few things, and one of the first things I showed him was this giant, like basically shitpost build right near Genesis Plaza that was exactly that. And I put my email address right on it, and I haven't got any emails regarding that, which is I find it really weird because it's really obstructive and annoying.
Yeah, I remember that day because I think I randomly showed up on the Genesis Plaza because it was like during the time where if you tried to teleport anywhere, you just go to the Genesis Plaza, and so many people were showing up, and that's where I met Scorpio, and I was like, dude, let's just go walk around.
Yeah.
And then we stumbled upon the Omniboard and then a couple other stuff, and I think we ran into what was that, the Coin Runner? What's it called? Something.
Coin Rush.
Coin Rush, yeah.
Coin Rush.
It's like a, you know, that was quite the challenging build back in the day, but yeah, man, like once we hooked up, we were just walking around, we ran into that thing. I was like, wow. And like you're saying, like nobody's like really, you know, abusing the fact that you could just block people.
No, and that build is really obstructive. It's not just a blocked wall. It's a bunch of light rocks from the builder scaled up and just spammed in the builder. So it's so bright.
I don't think I've ever seen what you're talking about.
You should go see it. It's like
I can go there now.
Yeah, I got a number for it. It should be hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the Genesis Plaza.
I mean, we can just hit the map, you know.
It's 1117.
Okay, we got a number.
Have we got any word on when like friends list and that private chat stuff will be coming out? I know a few of us saw some leaked images of it, but
he said next week, right? Or
next week.
Yeah, that's I remember that Augustine mentioning it.
Yeah,
on the
I gotta imagine that soon.
with the Matty interview, or
with the Matty interview. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he did mention it would be next week.
Oh shit! Sorry, that's
awesome.
That's not it. It's go northwest a bit and you'll find it. It's right past that triangle. That like sort of.
How about I sent Clark that link to the, I guess it was like a beta version of the private chat and stuff that some of us got, and he said he went to check it out, and he walked away from his computer and came back, and there's some other avatar there, and it was just in the chat box. Who the fuck are you, and how did you get this link? And he said he just X'd out of his window real quick, out of his browser.
Right, it's just north of you. You'll see it on the right there.
All right. What is this? I've never seen this. I'm going in here. Hold on a second. I found a new thing.
When you leave that cabin, you'll see the build for sure.
I'll come back to this store. I like this store. Oh, jeez. Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch.
Hey, you know what? I don't remember that because I had my settings real low, but damn.
Scorpio, you said this is yours?
Yeah.
So are you just experimenting with being a dickhead, or what's the purpose of that?
That was, I mean, it's kind of in line with what I was doing with what I am doing with the neighborhood project, which is like, I just want activity. Like that's kind of
that thing.
I found that I was not meeting people in the world like organically and then connecting, except, you know, with Will, that was just a random kind of
it's pretty random
incident. And now I recognize the names, so it's different. But back then I was kind of looking to connect organically. And I thought, like, what if I put the most obnoxious thing? I didn't realize that on the full settings, you can't even really see the email. So maybe that's why people haven't contacted me.
Man, I'm only hanging out here because I'm showing y'all. But I would be out. I'd be like, and run away from this, you know? All right, I'm going back to the little store because the store was cool. Whose store is this?
Yeah, you know what? There's not a whole lot of trolls. So that means we haven't penetrated the internet that deep.
Correctly.
That's all that means.
Well, the trolls just don't buy the land. They're still on the Discord. They just don't spend the money on the land.
I suppose.
This store is cool, but what the hell do you do?
I'm going to find out. Hold on, there's an interact button somewhere.
I don't know if you can do anything. Right. The door opens, I think.
Something. There we go. What can I do? Come on. Give me some. All right. Well.
You saw the name of the store, right?
No. I missed it. Hold on.
Buzz Coffee.
Sneed? Who's Sneed?
Sneed's Feed and Seed.
Formerly Chuck's?
Formerly Chuck's. In case there's any confusion.
Chuck's fucking suck? That's the joke.
Oh. So they all did all this behind a joke?
I don't know. I don't know whose build this is.
Yeah.
Will, how does this make you feel as someone who wants more futuristic stuff?
Because this is from back
just
in the
another,
day.
just another corner store.
There's like shelves and everything, man.
Yeah,
I know.
He's so mad.
Dude, there's such it's such a basic cabinet set too.
Yeah. That's not builder stuff either, right?
No, that's
I don't think so.
Somebody built that. Yeah, somebody built that.
It was probably taken from like a free 3D model site.
Yeah, more than likely.
Oh yeah.
Looks like it. Like just the way there's like textures on the window and shit like that. Like you can see that.
I mean, it's a start. I mean, you can imagine a good RPG game like this is like the area where you like buy some equipment and gear and stuff.
Yeah, you
go on your quest.
Put functions on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a checkers game. You can play checkers right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, when's that chess meta?
If this was like something that you were, let's say you had to take ingredients,
yeah,
you know, and then like I don't know, do something with the ingredients, and then I don't know, you can get stuff off the counter, but you know the other, you know, I don't maybe this does have a little function you could make happen. Right now it looks like it's not fully, you know, coded and stuff like that, but I don't know. I could see that going somewhere, you know.
Yeah, so Corvin's working on that chess meta.
Oh, yeah?
And so what he's doing is like making sure that, you know, you can move around the little pieces, like like with the remote, just so that the landowner can place the chess game wherever he wants.
Yeah.
But that's the only real work that's needed.
Nice.
So he's working on that.
Nice.
That's a one parcel build, right?
Yeah, it's a one parcel build.
It's
yeah, we need to
it's like
figure
a
out
whole
a way
parcel
where we can like rotate.
Say that again, Frankie.
The chess build, it takes up a whole parcel.
You know, it looks like it does. I just don't know. I don't know yet, like the details on whether we can like break it into pieces so that it doesn't take up a whole
That's
parcel.
insane. Or can you break it down? Like, can you scale it down the whole thing?
Yeah,
whole
yeah. So that's the idea. That would be the idea.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to play the game, but you don't necessarily need like the surrounding like fixtures taking up the entire parcel, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah. I'm going.
I don't know. I don't think anybody would want an entire parcel, dedicated to chess, but I could be wrong.
I think it would be cool if it was like dressed like that, where you were like, okay, yeah,
You may not need all the pieces, so you kind of just delete it down to the chess game, and then you can just deploy that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I always like the idea of like the chess like board, like Alice in Wonderland. So if it was like giant, and the characters were like things. But if you were like, let's say you had like a meta like studs, like you like a studs build, man. Like that's a monster meta,
It is.
And I went there yesterday checking it out because we're supposed to do video there at some point. And like, man, I'm like, this thing is like, you can't say nothing about metas when you look at studs joint, man. Like for real, if you feel a certain way about metas, look at studs joint. Tell me that's not like a creative way to go about it using them,
Yeah, that guy custom built the entire thing with a remote. Like it's pretty crazy.
Sick. Yeah, literally. Like that really studs. I'll probably go there in a minute. I just want to check out the club, man. But I always stop by Two Sad Spot, man. It's just the joint. We had we did a multiverse thing, one of our first, right? Going from club to club.
Oh, that's right.
A couple of days ago. So Anorak was involved with that, right, Anorak?
Well, I reached out to Toon Two's Sugar Club, and he's been wanting to give me a tour of his Crypto Voxels club for a while now. And it's like, hey man, like you want to give me that tour? He's like, yeah, how about tomorrow at 6 p.m. No, I was thinking about it, and it's like, well, I know iMan wants to go with me. There's probably other Decentraland people that want to go with me.
Right.
And so I was just like, hey, you mind if we turn this into like a tour and we just do Crypto Voxels and then Decentraland and bounce back and forth? And it was just a spur of the moment thing. And, within 18 hours, I think everything was pretty easily planned and put out there and ready to go. And, we hosted it the next day within that 24-hour time span and got pretty good turnout from the Crypto Voxels community, and then as always got a pretty good turnout from Decentraland and had maybe 25 or so users in the world for it at Sugar Club. And then last night I dropped into Crypto Voxels after Josie and Katie Arrington's their interview. They had a little event and people were talking about how cool it was that Decentraland and Crypto Voxels kind of had that related tour and stuff, and that they wanted to have their builds featured in it and everything. So I think it's going to be something that we do again. Just no prizes, no incentive, just come out to check everything out and support the devs that are putting in the work behind all these projects.
What was your opinion on the Crypto Voxels build?
I thought that Tuesday's build was awesome. It's taken some time for me to I guess adjust my eyesight a little bit to the Crypto Voxel stuff, because that white background is pretty damn draining, I guess, on your eyes and in my head. I really like the Sugar Club stuff there. It's just like the one in Decentraland, where the more you keep exploring, like the more you find within the club. Like there's so many different little rooms and stuff, but I thought it was really cool. Especially for some of the stuff I've seen in Crypto Voxels, it's just like a lot of art on display and not much past that. So it was cool to see like the club, and then you have like the jet ski outside of it and everything. I liked it for what Crypto Voxels is aesthetically wise. I really like the Sugar Club.
Yeah, we interviewed the Sugar Club, me and Iman on, was it Thursday? So a couple days ago.
Okay.
And so it was good talking to him. Yeah, he's actually the main leader in MetaZone right now in sales.
Yeah.
And so like literally in 2 weeks, he just like smoked everybody.
Well,
How many does he have?
He's got a
left
brand,
now?
man, and he talked about that with me when I interviewed him. You know, he talked about the importance of him building his brand and how he has followers like that, and I think that's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that's not surprising in the least. You know, he was supposed to do that because he has a brand, and he's got to show people how to have a brand. Honestly, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I have sponsors. I got Baus sponsoring me, and I'm showing people how to use that. So that how you go about displaying them, you know, in every kind of different way that Decentraland gives you. Like I just got the hyperlinks. So the morning, 5 a.m, when hyperlinks came out, I put one on one of my TVs. So now you click the TV, brings you right to Decentral.Games, and that's how you do it, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then once we have like that open market on wearables, you'd be displaying that Decentral Games like T-shirt on your. On
oh
your
yeah. We could put a link right to how you get those, you know? So you know that would be links are changing the game right now. I got, like I said, I've been working with my Axie team, and upstairs in my I don't know, radio TV station thing is gonna be probably a lot of different TVs for those guys' streams and links to their stuff and 3D models of their Axies, and it's gonna be, you know, very streamy up in there. It's gonna be good.
I wonder how many streams you can have in a single parcel.
I think it wouldn't really matter as long as you know how to manage them. Like I wouldn't let them all just go on at the same time. Like you would be like pause and, you know, maybe even functions where like only, I don't know, I'll figure out exactly how to do that, but I would have a set screen for a set, you know, streamer, but it might not be playing all at the same time. Actually, it definitely will not be playing all at the same time. And then the sound might be really localized on those, you know, like you got to be standing up close, you know, 4 feet away, you know, something like that. Same time. And then the sound might be really localized.
With all I was looking on the Discord, all this wearables chat going on. Will, I was just also seeing MetaZone. You guys have the Garden Center meta for the Ethermon stuff.
Oh yeah.
On the website. Are you guys allowed to say much about that publicly, or is it still kind of private for now?
Well, it's a little bit fluid. We're not supposed to really talk about it. But the problem is that in order to test the thing, it has to go into the wild, and so people have been deploying it. But it's okay. Just because we sort of needed people to test it out. So yeah, it's out there if you guys want to go on a treasure hunt. But yeah, once that thing drops, man, this is gonna be a huge game.
That's great.
Do we have to pay to play that, or can we just jump in and start catching monsters?
So the only thing, yeah, you could jump in and catch monsters, and then there'll be some gameplay where the more stuff that you do with interacting with your Ethermon, the more experience it'll get. And so there's 2 types of experience. There's a player experience, and then there's the Ethermon experience. So the more stuff that you do with your Ethermon, the more experience you get. And then your Ethermon could evolve, get ready for battle eventually.
Okay, this is the $1 million question. Is my Ethermon gonna be in 3D, and is it gonna follow me?
Yes. Only on supporting parcels.
That's enough.
Yeah, only on.
That's all I need.
That's all you need. Yeah. So yeah, only on supported parcels. So any parcel that's deployed that meta, you'll have your Ethermon spawn, and once it's spawned, it will follow you, and it'll.
That's pretty sick.
You'll want to take care of it. There's gonna be all these animations and all that stuff. So
all I need to do now is release a Ash Ketchum hat, and I'm ready.
Who here has Ethermon? Because I thought that project was dead, but I got some first mints or whatever you call them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow, man. So you're like one of the early ones, because Ethermon was like one of the OGs in the whole NFT space.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that project was dead for years, so I haven't really paid attention.
I almost bought the stadium that they originally built. That was like gonna be my first buy, and then I couldn't. I didn't want to wait to get the money up to do that, so I was just like, "Give me this parcel now, whatever."
Hey, just a question. So I just passed this idea with Toonpunk. I wanna host a Origins conference where we bring the OGs of the NFT space. Crypto voxels. We bring on crypto punks. We bring on crypto kitties, and they don't tell us about the product. They just tell us about the story, how they went from zero to blowing up.
Yeah.
So
did you see?
I
Randy, I don't know if you saw that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is there any other projects that come to your mind when you think like the OGs, the origin, where it all began? Like who set the way that we see NFTs today?
I don't even know why. Besides CryptoKitties, I don't know if I have that information.
Yeah.
Okay. Crypto punks, crypto kitties, and then crypto
I feel like
maybe
Drew. I interviewed Drew from Meta Factory
yesterday,
and I feel like he would know all about that. I feel like he would have that information.
Yeah, I think you have the full list. To be honest, I mean, you'd have to include Decentraland. I mean, but
definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Decentraland as well. So maybe Esteban. So have Esteban, have Ben, CryptoKitties. It's gonna be like an origin story kind of thing.
Yeah,
it might be pretty cool.
Matty, you could get Dan from OpenSea too, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I can connect.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know how early. I don't know if he's like an OG, but OpenSea definitely paved the way for a lot of these.
Yeah, made it accessible.
But I mean, it was more recent though, compared to like CryptoKitties.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I think it might just be a series where we can go through, how did these stories begin?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then maybe pitch a bit of the product later on. But I want to hear how they went from whatever they were doing to being like, holy shit, we can make something pretty big out of this. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Matty, I don't know if you saw the video that I put up about the Honus Ragnar card, and I put it up in our chat, and I didn't expect everybody to watch it, but I did watch it, and it just really reminded me of the NFT space. It's just like the most valuable, rarest baseball card in history, and then there was like this big kind of like fraud case around it at the end. But basically, like, there's this. I guess baseball cards were given out in the cigarette packs back in like the early 1900s, and Honus Wagner was the most popular player, and they discontinued his card because either he wasn't paid or something. Like there was some sort of business situation that he was like, "Nah, pull that card." So they pulled the card, and there ended up being like 60 when there's like like 100,000 of the other ones because it came in cigarette packs. And it just, the story of this card and just, there's a lot more detail to it, but it kind of shows how like the baseball card got its value, and it really, really reminded me of this space, it really, like I said, if you take a look at it if you get a chance, but it really like reminded me of our story of how things are starting to become noticed as rare or valuable in this space, even though there's a lot of contention,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think, is Anorak there? I think you had some conference you were doing. Do you want to talk about that, or like what you have in mind?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to, still come up with some sort of events, come up with something where the community can come out, engage with other projects and vice versa. So right now, the companies that I have tentatively booked for either next weekend or the one after, just depending on how fast we can get everything organized here. It's DeFi Rate, Polytope, NFT Crypto News, and micro sponsors. All of them are kind of in their own little unique niche. There's not really much of a really concurrent theme among all of them, but they're all companies. 2 or 3 of the 4 are quite familiar with Decentraland, and they actually have people that on their boards and in their departments that have experienced Decentraland. They've either played in world or they follow the Decentraland Twitter or one of us and everything like that. Especially with this video streaming stuff, a lot of them were very receptive to the idea of coming on and doing a presentation. So I'm looking forward to having some different companies out here. I think the NFT Crypto News will be really fun to hear from because they just cover everything NFT related. Polytope, does something pretty similar to MetaZone, but it's more geared towards like the crypto voxel theme builds where they connect builders and buyers, but it's not necessarily like the Decentraland builds. It's all like the voxel type builds and stuff like that. And then micro sponsors is something similar, but it's for like it's a decentralized form of freelancing. So people can go on there and pay for someone's time or for their services, and you can go on there and post a time that you're available. Let's say, just to use Katie Arrington as an example, last night on Josie's podcast, she was talking about how she's a life coach, and the interview was great. You guys can go on Josie's Twitch and watch the replay of it, but they got really deep into some of the into Katie's personal history, and it's led her to become a life coach. Well, as a life coach, you could go in there and you could put your schedule like 1 hour where you're available, and someone can come on there and pay like $10 for that hour, and you could be like their personal life coach via Zoom for an hour and just talk to them about everything. So it's a lot of different projects, some pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to expose those that haven't been exposed to Decentraland, but also a lot of these companies and users that have been watching on the outside. It'll be cool to actually bring them in world. And we're looking to do all of this at the Tomanoya Casino, where you see in Baus's backdrop there. We're going to try to switch it up from the Crypto Valley Conference Center and go to the casino, give people a little bit more entertainment in between speakers and everything like that.
Yeah, I think that's really important. We're also this whole like the video streaming thing. I think we mentioned this before. It's just such a big play, and such a big like. It's a no-brainer for them to get involved because they can speak directly to the whole Decentraland audience. So I'm actually speaking with Matt as well from Cent, and we might co-host something on the Axie build that I'm doing, to maybe some business conference as well or something small. But
I got to talk with Matt.
That the conferencing could. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a good talk. I talked to Matthew from Cent, and that was pretty cool. I got to like get on to, like basically onboard myself to his website, and I like tipping the shit out of Anorak and everybody I knew and stuff. It was that was fun. So like I think there's nice. A real good like that's a great angle for this whole space. You know, when you want to support someone, you can go and support them on Cent, and you know, just I don't know, it's kind of like you're just like it's a like button that has 1 cent attached to it. You know,
I need to get on that. It's just man, it's hard to have like a weekly schedule of posting blog posts. It's like I know DCL. Well, you can even do this. Like Matty used to do that.
I'll post something to Cent right now. Watch this. I'm gonna take a picture of what we got.
Yeah, Will, I haven't been posting for ages, man. This can't be stuffed anymore because I'm doing the whole conferencing stuff. I just cannot do it.
Yeah. You get more traction on Twitter, right?
I do, but the blog kind of builds. I don't know. I guess because I'm stuck with the old school thinking that you need a blog and you need traffic, and then with that traffic you go to sponsors.
Yeah.
But I think the Twitter handle and the social side of it alone, I don't know. Maybe that's enough to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And then every now and then just do a blog post if I want to elaborate on something. But the Twitter itself, even doing like a full thread on Twitter sometimes is better because people just have short attention spans. So you don't want them to click out of the first medium they see.
Hey, boss, are you planning on doing like weekly roundups on like revenue and all that? Because I know Matty was telling me that we need to do that, and I want to do that. It's a time thing.
Like weekly roundups, like just publish the.
Sorry, not weekly. They say like revenue
monthly,
numbers. Monthly,
it's like a frequent way to update people on, I guess, transparency, earnings. I used to do it for my marketing blog, and it just used to like get a lot of traffic because people want to know how people are making money, etc. And then you'll get more people to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're doing that already in our database, like tracking everything by token or by location within the casino, just because for our NFTs, each like holder gets 30% of the profits from those games on their parcel. So we actually display that in like on like our website. If you go to like I think it's decentral.games/admin. It's not live yet, obviously, just because we haven't gone mainnet. But yeah, so to answer your question, I think we're gonna have all that data public.
Nice.
Oh, so you're going to be able to see how much everyone's earning.
You're gonna have for each token holder based on the NFT that's in their wallet, they can see exactly how much they're earning. But we have yet to decide if we're gonna make like all of the data public.
Maybe like collectively, like the token owners collectively, they've earned X amount of dollars this month or X amount of crypto this month. Keep it vague.
We can publish that. I don't really have a problem with it. We just we haven't like built out all of that yet. We just have the functionality just to grab like each specific tokens volume. But yeah, I mean, our admin actually, our admin dashboard like shows all total volume and total pots, like pot sizes, and all that stuff is on the blockchain. So I mean, I'm sure we can just publish that data pretty easily.
Like some sort of a monthly report as to it's called an earnings report, and then you can just kind of break it down into which games are kind of earning, etc., just to get people to be like, oh, wait a second, this is earning money, and this is what people did to do it, and then you can kind of do like a mini update as to what you guys are doing new. And I don't know, it's a good way that it used to be pretty big in the marketing world. So absolutely. I would imagine it'd be something pretty good here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's gonna be I think it'll be good to just be transparent with all that stuff, especially because the data is already public on the blockchain. But yeah, I mean, I spoke with Andrew. You guys know Andrew Steinwald that well? Like a Zima Red podcast. Yeah. So I've known him for a while, and I kind of was like asking him like what he thought about my NFTs, and obviously they're kind of pricey, but they pay a return and everything. But he was kind of telling me like, I mean. And I was like, look, man, like, we have, like, there's compared to like some pieces of land that are naked and have nothing on it. Like, our NFTs like offer a lot, it's a managed service, has games that pay a return. And he kind of told me something that kind of stuck with me that I hadn't really realized till now, is that, with blank piece,
Stop talking
until like whatever. You can build whatever on it.
Baus,
say
it again.
One more time.
Say that
again.
Again.
Definitely,
I need to get better internet. Sorry, guys. I called my ISP today.
You cut off at the best part.
I know. That's what I said before this too. He always cuts out at the best part.
The best part, like the most insightful.
You said,
thing.
Fuck.
I think
so where we lost you was you said something that Andrew told you that you never realized before was. We lost you.
Basically, so I go over like compared to just land sale prices, how like my NFTs are expensive, but they're not like ridiculous.
We lost you again, man.
Damn.
Fuck.
It's getting so good though.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
That's
Fuck.
good.
I can try it one more time.
That's good. Get straight into it. It's fine.
All right. Well, basically, he just said that, with a naked parcel of land, people's imaginations are open to whatever they can build. But even with a managed casino, like it's kind of limited, and it's based on actual numbers. So they obviously want to see the numbers first. Yeah. So, I mean, that's essentially it. And so, like the amount of moon ability, he called it like ability to moon, is like less for mine. Just because like it's kind of known, it's a known what it can be, whereas like a piece of land is like is open infinite. To like whatever. Yeah. Sorry for cutting out a bunch. I just I thought it was interesting. Yeah.
You know what? NFTs that earn money. That's gonna be the next big thing. That's gonna be the next big wave. Just watch.
It is, but I think you have to prove that, and I think that's what people are waiting on the sidelines for. And that's why people are getting involved in MetaZone, is because holy shit, people are making like 50 to 100,000, some of them, in mana by selling them. That's why you see momentum in that direction.
No. So let me be clear. NFTs that generate recurring income, that is going to be the next big thing. Of course, you can make money from NFTs by selling them, but it's the NFT itself as an asset that earns you money like on a monthly basis. That's going to be the next big thing. That's specifically what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Like Block Runner.
Like that, and Decentral Games, those NFTs that generate money just without even doing anything. You just earn income.
So like a slot machine as an NFT.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got to talk about that too.
And once the metrics are there, the thing is, and there's people working on the metrics as well. So you're gonna see those numbers, and those numbers will change your way of thinking about it.
Exactly. And these NFTs, they may seem expensive now, but in the future, when that particular NFT earns you like $100 a month, I mean, paying $1,000 for an NFT is not going to be a big deal.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. The data is not going to lie. So I guess we have to deliver now.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And it's also about your own self promotion as well. They're not going to put themselves there. So you got to get them in there. Just like Decentraland itself too.
Yeah, look at that comment at the bottom, Franky.
Oh, what does it say? Spot on. Well.
Thank you, Wix. This is not sponsored by Wix, by the way, but thank you very much for showing up to Decentraland. We like your website.
If you want to been to his website, hold on, I'm gonna go to it. What the hell is it?
The Wix.
No, Franky.
No. Is this no good?
No. I'm kidding. It's a legit website.
It's a real website. It's a good company.
It's like a website. I'll go over here. I want to know.
Shopify.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's the builder of websites.
On the other way. Yeah. Oh, I know what Wix is. All right. That's cool. Hell yeah.
It's like a WordPress. Yeah, it's like a WordPress kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I used Wix back in the day. I had my own little business. I used Wix.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you want to sponsor us, Wix, just let us know. You can contact Franky.
We can make you a button.
They always have the really corny ads on YouTube.
What's this?
Say that again, Matty?
They always have those really corny ads on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, yeah.
They're not corny, man. We got Wix in the house. They're great.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, there's really cool ones.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, our
they're actually pretty good.
Not very expensive too, so.
Yeah. They're corny, but they're really good to the point, and I think they, what do you call it? Wait, what are they in the house? Are they actually watching?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's somebody with the name. I mean, who just because you bought the name Wix is like we have Donald Trump too. We don't know that Donald Trump is really behind that shit,
No,
or Sari Bilbert. That was
Sari Bilbert. Sari Bilbert got me good, man. I was like, yeah, look at me and Barry. I was like, man, that's Sari Bilbert.
That's not Barry.
Yeah, double check.
It was because we were trying to find him, and I thought I had found him. That day was so hectic. I was trying to find Barry because he was in Genesis Plaza at one point. And he's like, hey guys, I'm at 01. I'm like, oh shit. And I just zoom over there. I'm walking around Genesis Plaza, hilarious. I'm like, Barry? I'm like fucking in the chat. Couldn't find him. Go back to the Crypto Valley Center. And then he's saying he's near Crypto Valley. So we're trying to find him so we can keep going. And then he was just like, guys, go on without me, man. I'm a lost soul right now.
Dude, he went into that convention center as Barry Silbert. The next time I looked, I thought he went upstairs and I just see Sally Bilbert or whatever. And I was like,
Sari Bilbert.
Turn into some other avatar. Like, I had to look at it like 2-3 times.
I think
I don't know what happened here, but.
You think that was troll?
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
no. I think Barry is trolling. Yeah.
Troll's the best.
Does anyone know when we're going to be able to use our the different names where we can deploy different names in our wallets to our actual avatar?
You want to be able to deploy that wearables Grinch whenever you want, huh? Just shoot that off the hip.
Oh yeah, no, I got a couple.
Oh, you got a couple. Nice.
I actually claimed the name of the block runner too, and I was gonna give it away. Yeah, I sent the picture. That was back in March, and I was like, "Don't worry, it's in good hands." It's like I don't know what, but I gave away the name. I gave away a couple of names. I gave one away. It was Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave another maybe Yao Ming away or something like that.
I got ripped off for names when I first. So this is my experience with names, which is hilarious. I go into the names market or whatever. I'd been killing wearables. I was making bread off of wearables. I didn't care. So I go to the names market and I'm like, I'm gonna get some of these things. Who cares? And I go in there and I grab El Chapo, Bob Marley, Han Solo, and one more, I can't remember what it was, right? Mm-hmm. And so I go in the chat and I'm like, hey guys, I got all these cool names, and they're like, those are I's, bro. Those is not L's. Yeah. And so then I ended up giving those away to my friends. But it's funny because now I got a few friends that have those weird names. And in game it just looks like that, but it was funny. It was just a funny thing to happen.
That actually might be worth something if in game they look.
My cousin has one, and my partner Marcus is Han Solo, and it's those were, you know, like, okay, gifted to all my friends that I onboarded, you know, that didn't feel like putting their own name on there.
I just don't understand, like, why people, like, buy company names. I understand, like, names of, like, CEOs and stuff, but, like, I don't know, like, why are people claiming names like Windows 10? Like, I don't want to walk around with a name like Windows 10. Like, I don't understand that.
I think
but,
it's
like,
just this wild
Bill
speculation
Gates,
that someday somebody wants that for, you know, an amount of money. I don't know. I left the names alone. After I got burnt by Han Solo and El Chapo, I was good.
Dude, there's some good names in there that if we do get a big enough adoption, they'll come around. Like, I saw Tony Hawk was on sale for like 300. Like, that's a pretty solid name to have. Tony Hawk.
Neo, right?
Yep. Huh?
You got the name Neo, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Will wants that. Will wants that one.
Man, I'm watching you like represent Neo, and I'm like, dude,
it's so funny.
My name
it's going up in value.
Hey, Matty.
Like Will is like the king of the stock, you know, like he rocks the stock outfit. We're all doing the background thing. I'm like, hey Will, you want to mess with the background? He's like, hell no, man, I'm going stock today.
Matty, would you give up your full barbarian set for a 20 parcel estate?
20 parcels?
Where is that coming from?
Jason was saying on Twitter that the barbarian suit's worth a 20 parcel estate.
Oh, well, you know, there's
Matty, would you accept?
The whole wearable, you know, crowd.
Yeah, I'm reading it in Discord right now. There's
it's you know, I feel like when the only thing
came back and said,
I'm sorry,
maybe a 5 land estate
for one of the pieces, like for the barbarian helmet, 5 lands.
I don't know. Nah, I have mint ones though. They're all mint ones. But even if they are mint ones, nah, man, that's like maybe 4 pieces of land max, 5.
For the whole set?
Sorry, I said that's maybe like 5 pieces of land for the whole set, not 20. No way. Not yet, at least.
Yeah,
but I reckon wearables definitely have the ability to go up pretty damn high.
They tell a story, man. At this point, I think the ones that we have right now tell a story. Like me and HP were talking about the theater mask that I'm wearing today, you know, and we were talking about, like, first of all, you tell me the beta test this came from didn't exist, right? Didn't exist. I have video of the beta test from the mask. This wasn't available. This was given out in like some sort of smart contract thing that I couldn't even really understand what HP was telling me. Like not because of the accent, but just it's like over my head. But so there was like this in the clown nose, and then like all this tells a story.
Do you remember how to claim that?
Was it
Franky? Do you remember the first wearables and how that was distributed?
Yeah, I have the video. It was me and Iman were talking, and I didn't even know how to get Iman on the microphone. So it's just me talking to myself in the air and like answering questions from Iman. It's hilarious, but I have the video of all that. Yeah, I videoed the beta test.
Because there was some sort of like a puzzle thing that we had to go from land to land.
Yeah, it was like from land to land. You go from here to here, and they had the Asian fox mask displayed and the bird mask, and There's a legitimate history there, and then there was like the maze contest, and we got some of the Halloween wearables, and then after that we had another Halloween contest with like a treasure hunt type thing, and then we had the unplayable Christmas beta test. That's why there's no Christmas stuff minted, because it was unplayable. You know, this is history, you know?
Yeah. The harder it is to do, it's actually better for the people that do it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had like I said, I walked off of the Christmas beta, like I was grouchy about that one. So I'm like, I can't play this, and I don't got time. I was working at the time. I don't got time to be coming back. You know, I was like, I'm not gonna get anything. I ended up getting almost nothing. I got like Christmas earrings or something like that. It's real stupid, you know?
But you know what I realized? Do you know the Cyberpunk jacket? There's only 4 of them in existence.
Yeah, exactly. There's only exactly. There's a bunch of things that are low mint. I think Clark Kent just put out a document about that. But I don't think that low mints tell the whole story. That's what I was actually having a little debate with those guys the other night. And that low mints don't tell the whole story. You know, some of these things just have a whole different history that some of these people weren't around for. They wouldn't even understand. You know.
I reckon like even if we go all out with wearables and we just open the market up to everyone, I think the Decentraland ones will still keep their value just because they're just so separated in terms of, like you said, the story.
Yeah.
There's no real story to community wearables. You just pop up something awesome, and then I think next week someone else will pop up something awesome.
Yeah, but and even like now you got Genesis Plaza, and they have that story there. You know, if you go through it tells you that story. Not in as much detail as I could, but you know, definitely it tells you the story. It gives you an idea for sure.
So do we have any more clearance on that stuff that they put out, or any more clarity on that stuff that they put out in terms of like the community that they were going to form to overlook this stuff, how many licenses they would be looking to give out?
No. This is a very, like, as far as I know, it's just like a beta for, like, okay, if we're going to do community wearables. Started. No, yeah, but that too. But like also, if you're going to do community wearables, you've got to be able to fit them to the animation and you know, the script or whatever. So you need to test that. So they test that with the OGs that at least are in the middle of doing stuff already anyway. So that's what that's about.
Yeah. So I just took it as like people could submit like artwork for it, and then some sort of dev from the DCL team would implement it.
I would hope not. I would hope it was actually somebody deving it themselves.
Someone would have to put the work in.
That way we would be testing these things. Like whether somebody from the community is even like, if that's a thing that, no, not if, because it's not an if. It's getting the community to be able to do the code further. It's just like building on land, right? In the beginning, there was no land. There was nothing built on land. Nobody knew how to build anything on it. You know, everybody goes through, Decentraland University. More people know how to build. Same idea.
I gotcha. No, I was just wondering if there was any sort of back channel information or anything I missed in the Discord that was regarding that stuff, because I'm anxious to see how that all unfolds.
What I just talked to you about there was me talking to, you know, like team members and stuff. So like that was basically like, because I was asking a few questions and, you know, they basically answered them for me, and he said, you know, this is essentially, we got to figure out how to do it, you know. So if we wait for the DAO to make these kind of decisions, then we literally would, you know, it'd be like forever before the next wearable comes out, you know.
For sure. Yeah, there has to be some sort of expedited process right now, because
everything gets a beta test. You know what I mean?
For sure.
While they're figuring out the DAO, they should still be moving forward with implementing stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon, it's not going to be fully decentralized, but honestly, it doesn't matter, man. Like, just implement something. Let's go somewhere, and then we just fine tune it and decentralize it along the way. I mean, Decentraland for the majority of part of it has been centralized. It's only recently they're rolling out this decentralization part of it. So
you
know, just people roll out some testing, and let's just do something.
Let's just try it out.
Get some wearables.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's let's let the community decide what we want to do with them too. You know, like, all right, cool. You know, you got people developing them and stuff, and you know, like block runner guys want block runner stuff. I'm gonna do a pretty like bigger chat with Dennis pretty soon from Dapcraft, and that's gonna be super interesting. He's gonna bring fashion people along and stuff, so we're gonna get into it, you know, dig deep. And I did a chat with Drew from Drew from Meta Factory, and he had a bunch of cool things to say about the subject, about what his role would be in that, you know, where he'd be able to be the structure that lets you make them say like a real item and an in-game item together, you know, and he'd be like the bridge, you know. So a lot of cool things.
Decentraland is right up his alley if we can get it.
It's so perfect.
Like if he can be a collection.
I'm trying to work with Drew no matter what. If I can make a wearable, I'm going to make it with Drew. That's real. You know what I mean? And I'd like to, you know, like again, like Anorak has the Block Runner sweaters, and I literally, Anorak, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna send you some mana, and just can you send me a Block Runner sweater?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. But we're gonna another piece of history right there in the future. Where like I'm not gonna sell that sweater, but that's gonna be a piece of history that I just would love to have. I'll probably frame that one day, you know. But you know, again, I'd like to see a lot of people work with Matthew, because I think with Drew, with Drew from Meta Factory, because it could make a really cool thing, you know, that you would end up with a physical and a digital, and they would be separate, and then one can be on your back and one can be in the game or for sale or whatever, and that would work even if you had like proof of work type shit. You know what I mean? Like you could still do it that way. It wouldn't have to be any specific model. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm curious how Dennis is gonna set this whole thing up, because I think his model will work. There just needs to be incentives for people to gather like all the ingredients to make a wearable.
Yeah,
so the incentives, that's the key.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's got going on, because he seems to be excited about what he's got going on. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a fun.
All
chat.
right, well, we've been chatting for 90 minutes.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any other topics you want to go over, Matty. But other than that, I think we're good here.
Let me just double check the Discord chat. I think we mentioned a few things.
I'm looking at it too. So we got Matic, we got Anorak's next business conference, Axie Infinity, chat with Matt from Cent, I believe. Co-hosting. And then
Scorpio, do you have any closing comments here? If we're about to end it, any promos or anything for the neighborhood?
No promos. Just if anyone from the neighborhood is listening, just look forward to those documents, because there's some exciting stuff going forward. I'm not just leaving the neighborhood to grow on its own. There's lots of exciting stuff. So get pumped.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, Franky, you want to carry us out?
Yeah, man. Thanks to everybody that comes by the parcels, that watches all this stuff, and that hits me up in the Discord, and we talk about things and build and work together. Thanks to everybody, all of you guys, for being a part of what we do here, and Baus, of course, for sponsoring. This is like just going a great place, and I think that we continue to build community, and we're going to be able to to build Decentraland correct, like have it go in a great direction. Talk about like people not building walls around other people and stuff like that. This is because we know each other. You know what I'm saying? So
it's true.
Let's keep doing what we're doing, because I feel like every day I wake up to new innovations, literally.
If I may, Franky, one last.
Yeah, plug it.
So starting on Monday, there's going to be a month-long tournament for all the Block Runner games.
Nice.
And the big prize.
You want to just send it back to Red Nitrous right now?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. so Red Nitrous is going to have quite a struggle for this one, because the big prize is a single parcel near, I forget, Vegas City, or I don't know, somewhere around there. So this parcel is probably worth like 10 to 20,000 mana. So it's a pretty good.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So what's interesting here is that we're all going to contribute to a single wallet with a bunch of NFTs. And these are all going to be random giveaways. So the more often that you play, the more tickets that you have, the more chances you'll win that parcel and other NFTs. So that's coming up starting on Monday, and it'll last for 30 days or so.
So can the people that play in this tournament, are they only allowed to play it? Sorry, can you only enter it with tickets? My God. Lost my brain.
Yes, you can only enter it with tickets, correct. So, and you can play at any parcel, anyone's land.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you get your ticket at the game, at the parcel.
Oh, right. Okay. So I can still buy in. I can still play it if I haven't played any of them previously.
Yeah. The tickets are. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the tickets only count as it's like a raffle ticket. And so there's no particular score that you need to get, other than like the more people that play, the higher the pot gets, and so you'll still get those daily payouts, right? But other than that, it's all about racking up those tickets. You'll have a higher chance of winning that parcel.
Mm-hmm. You get a single ticket every time like you play one of the games, right? Like that's how you receive one of the MetaZone tickets.
That's correct.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, that was it. Thank you, Franky, for putting all this together, man. You do a lot of crazy work, man. So
it's crazy.
And then
thanks to HP. I got before I go. HP's coming along next week to come hang out with us, and I got to thank HP because HP is like 24/7 works for me. Like literally middle of the night for him, middle of the night for me. We're on it, you know. So
that guy never sleeps. Cool. He's always on. It's so weird.
This is his, this is his thing, and I think that he's gonna be the guy to go to if anybody needs to get like that kind of thing done, streaming or any kind of like things that have to do with the server. He's a wizard, literally.
Cool. All right, guys, appreciate it, and so we'll be back next week.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, guys.
Right, bye-bye.
Yeah.